Hello and a very warm welcome to everyone. I am Shreya Agrawal and you are watching yet another episode of Mint Inside. Today with me is Gautam Duggad, Head of Research and Institutional Equities, Motilal Oswal. Thank you, Gautam, for talking to us. Today has been really an interesting day. I remember yesterday we wrote an edit that today will turn out to be a Black Tuesday. It has not really turned out to be so. I would really want to know from you that what really changed. And we really saw a turn of unprecedented events. So Patel resignation did not really have a huge impact. What do you think?
So Sheila, market never fails to surprise us. First of all, a lot of things were already discounted in the price. Since August till November, we have had a correction of more than 15% almost, from 12,000 odd Nifty to now 10,400, 10,500. So a lot of factors were discounted in this correction. Secondly, if you just look at the political aspect of today's elections, while the headlines make it 3-0, if you dig a little deeper, you will find that the vote share difference in Rajasthan and MP is not huge. Now, moment you talk about 2019, 6 months down the line, when narrative changes from the local state level anti-incumbency to the Modi factor and a stable government formation versus the coalition partners that today is there on the opposition side, things change materially. And that is what market is in a way reflecting, that you're going to get a stable government again in 2019. So while the outcome on the headline perspective, from a headline perspective is bad, but if you dig deeper and see the internals of these election results, it doesn't reflect that things are totally gone for BJP. Secondly, on the other aspect, over the last 1 month, we've had correction in crude prices, bond yields have softened, currencies also come back a bit. So macro situation, macro backdrop has improved. And the other implication of today's election result I can see, and maybe this is my guesswork, probably you may get some sort of stimulus now, whether it is on the rural side, I don't know, but probably this will, force the government to do some sort of a damage control to manage the perceptions after this election on
But
the
how can
center.
this discount Congress win today? State
No, I'm not
elections. But
discounting.
somehow state elections have not really had a major impact on markets too.
Absolutely. If you look at 2003, same situation. Three states BJP had won convincingly. They lost the 2004 general election. 2008 BJP won two out of the three elections. They still lost 2009. 2013 they won all three, and they went on and won the 2014 general elections also. So there is no one-to-one correlation between what happens in a state election, which is typically branded always as a semi-final in India, and what happens in the subsequent general election. So I, for one, will not extrapolate these results for 2019. There is a 6 months gap between these elections and the general elections. And in Indian politics, 6 months is a lifetime.
So clearly, markets had priced in,
Yeah.
today's impact, and it had proven to be a dampener on both the counts. So even Urjit Patel's resignation clearly has no impact. Looked like, what do you have to tell me about that? When you speak to your clients, institutional investors, are they kind of happy that now a governor like this is kind of out? What do you think?
I think when we speak to our clients, one thing that we notice is people have taken this event in their stride.
The
Well,
body
obviously
priced
the
it in.
headlines are bad because all the headlines. If you read in today's paper, it talks about the the brawl between RBI and the government.
Sure.
But the reaction of the market is anything but panicky.
Positive.
It's
Yeah.
been positive. So you can obviously read it either ways. The other aspect is that when too many events play out together, macro, RBI, elections, politics, it's very difficult to attribute the direction of the market on a particular day to a particular event.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is an event which has come and which is gone. Now, what the market will look at at least from a next 1 week perspective, is who's the next RBI governor, which the government appoints, and then what policies that he's going to follow. Secondly, a lot of banks have rallied today. That tells you one thing, that wherever the stringent actions have happened from the RBI side, those banks possibly have huge sigh of relief today in the trend.
Sure.
But next couple of months you'll have to see who's the next RBI governor, what policies they follow, how do they manage the entire PCA framework for the PSU banks, the NBFC liquidity crisis, and this whole equation of capital transfer framework from the RBI to the government.
Interesting. We spoke about the Patel impact, and I just want to speak about the second factor, the election year. How does one really look at, markets in an election year? And it's so volatile. Can you really time the market, in these events? And just to sort of go back to what you said, that state elections don't necessarily have an impact on still the semi-final.
Yeah.
The finale is still left. So what are you gunning for?
So typically it is tough to time markets even in a stable market. So forget timing it in a volatile environment. What is sure for the next 6 to 7 months is elevated volatility. We've had a very calm and serene 2017 where we did not get a single drawdown of 5% correction. 2018 was a completely different year where we have seen a significant elevation in volatility. Right? We've got 2, 3 different events where markets corrected 5 to 10%. I think 2019, at least the first half, will be similar to what we have seen in 2018. Till the general elections are out of the way, there will be a lot of volatility in the market. What is important now is how does the macros behave? If crude, currency, bond yield, fiscal deficit equation, it remains under control, then I don't think market will fret too much about it right away. And if in between, there are a couple of, I think we'll get one more quarter of earnings season in corporate commentary. If those trends continue to improve, then market will shrug the political risk also for the time being.
Last statement, quick, if you were to wrap up today's event in like 2 words, what would that be?
I think it's a surprise which was well known and therefore was discounted already.
Okay. Thank you, Gautam. Thank you for talking to us. So brace for more volatility in times to come. This was Gautam Duggad giving us huge piece of advice here. Till the time we see you next week, goodbye and good luck. Thank you.